Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna show you how to make a beautiful crochet top. I also have free written pattern for size extra small go up to double XL. It's available on my blog, but if you prefer the PDF printable version, it's available on my Etsy shop and my Ravelry store, and I will put all the link in the description below. You can wear this top many different ways. You can wear with the belt or without the belt. You can wear with the pants or skirt or short. Many different ways you can wear it, and I love it so much, and I hope you do too. And for this video tutorial, gonna be for size small, and it's gonna be the part 1, and I hope you enjoy. Here is the materials that I use for this project. For this project, you will need fingering weight yarn number 1. So I use Scheepjes Sunkissed. This is fingering weight yarn number 1. This is 100% cotton. And for each skein, it have 185 yards or 170 meter per each skein. And for size small, I use the whole 4 skeins. And then here is the color code, if you wanna know. Color code 05. You can use different brand, but please check the gauge. Okay, and crochet hook size 4 millimeters. Scissors, yarn needle, and stitch markers. This is gonna be my gauge swatch. So this is the same brand, same weight yarn, everything the same, but only thing different is just different color. That's it. Okay, so yeah, I use this color for my gauge swatch. So for this pattern is multiple of 6 plus 3. If you don't know what is multiple of 6 plus 3, you're gonna make 6 chains, 6 chains, 6 chains, 6 chains, and then at the end you're gonna add 3 more chains. That is multiple of 6 plus 3. And then the chain that you start is gonna be the width of your project. Okay, but if you want wider, keep adding more chains, but make sure that you will have multiple of 6 plus 3. Okay, and then the row that you make gonna be the length. And for this pattern is 4 row repeat, which is row 2 to row 5. See, this is row 2 to row 5, and we repeat that row 2 to row 5, row 2 to row 5, like that. If you want longer, keep adding more rows, but make sure you repeat row 2 to row 5, 2 to 5, 2 to 5, like that. Okay, and if you want shorter, make less repeat. Alright, so yeah, I will tell you exactly how many stitches I make and how many rows I make. And here is my little swatch, and after I make this little swatch here, I block it. I put in a warm water about 15-20 minutes and let it dry on the floor overnight. Okay, and then after that I measure the gauge. So here I have, we're gonna talk about the width first. So here 20 double crochet stitches equal 4 inches. So I show you how to count. So here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. 20 double crochet equal 4 inches. This is gonna be the width. Okay, and then for the row, so I have 8.5 row equal 4 inches. So here's 1 row, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then and a half. 8.5 row equal 4 inches. So this row gonna be the length. And yeah, this gauge after I block it. Alright, and if you use different yarn, different brand, it might turn out different, or you use different hook. Keep that in mind as well. I also have video tutorial how to adjust the crochet sizes if you're gonna use different hook size or different weight yarn. I will put the link in description below. And let's get started. Before we start, I just want to talk about the pattern a little bit. For this top, the front and the back panel are made the same, okay, exactly the same. And yeah, we're gonna make the chain first. The chain that we make gonna be the width of your project, and the row that you make gonna be the length of your project. So for this measurement for this size small, I have 17 inches width, and then the length I have 22.11 inches length. And all these measurements after I block it. So I block it by put in the warm water about 15-20 minutes, and then I let it dry on the floor. You can do different way, whatever you prefer, but please make sure to make the gauge swatch first. And yeah, after I have 2 panels. Oh, one thing is different. At the end here, at the shoulders, for both shoulders, you need to leave a long tail, enough to sew the shoulder seam to the other panel. But just one panel only that you need to leave a long tails, but both shoulders, okay? And then yeah, for this one, everything make the same, but at the end, at the shoulders, you don't need to leave a long tail because this one you already leave a long tails. All right, after you have 2 panels, you're gonna put them like this, and then we're gonna use the long tail that we left earlier for sewing the shoulder seam on the wrong side, okay? And also you can use any method you prefer. And after I sew this, and then I fold it in half with the right side facing each other, and I'm gonna sew on the side seam. So for the side seam, I leave some a little space open on the side here at the bottom, also on this side. I will tell you exactly how many inches, how many row that I left it open at the bottom side here. But if you don't want to leave it open, feel free to start sew at the bottom all the way up till you reach the armpit, okay? So yeah, anyway, I leave some space open, and then I sew a little bit on the side, and I also leave space open for the armhole. And the other side, do exactly the same, okay? And this is just some idea. I will tell you exactly how I do it. And after that, I'm gonna crochet around the neck hole, around the edge. And then also I will crochet in the around the arm edge, and on the side, that's what I'm gonna crochet around. But you don't have to do that if you don't want to, okay? And after that, whip out the end and you're done. It's very easy. Okay, I'm gonna start off with a slip knot first, and then for this pattern is multiple of 6 plus 3. If you don't know what is multiple of 6 plus 3, you're gonna make 6 chain, 6 chain, 6 chain, 6 chain, and at the end you're gonna add 3 more chain. That is multiple of 6 plus 3. Okay, for me, I'm gonna make 87 chains. That is multiple of 6 plus 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and I'm gonna keep making the chain until I have 87 chains, and make sure to make your chain loosely, and the chain that you make gonna be the width of your project. Okay, I will be back. Now I have 87 chains, pretty long. And for row 1, gonna be the right side. For an odd number row, gonna be the right side, and for an even number row, gonna be the wrong side. So row 1 is the right side. And then we're gonna make 1 double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook. Okay, skip the first 3 chain, and the first 3 chain that we're gonna skip is called as 1 double crochet. So skip 1, skip 2, skip 3, and then into the next chain we're gonna make the double crochet. So a yarn over hook, insert the hook into that 4th chain, 4 chain from hook, okay, right here. But I like to go into the little bump on the back of the chain stitch. Okay, sometimes it's difficult. Okay, there we go. Okay, if you wanna go into the normal chain stitch, you can do that as well, whatever you prefer. After I insert the hook, I pull up a loop. I have 3 loops on my hook. I yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Okay, so now I have 2 double crochet because the first 3 chain count as 1. And then we're gonna make 1 double crochet into each chain stitch across. So yarn over, insert the hook into the next chain. Again, I like to go into the little bump on the back of the chain. And then pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And just repeat that. Yarn over, insert the hook into the next chain. I go into the little bump again. That's what I like. And then pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Repeat that. Yarn over, insert the hook into the next chain. I go into the next bump. Oops, right here. Sometimes it's difficult. And then pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Yarn over, insert the hook into the next stitch, to the next bump for me. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Like that. Yarn over, insert the hook into the next chain. I go into the little bump, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Like that. You're just gonna keep making 1 double crochet into each chain stitch across. Like I said, you can go into the normal chain stitch. You don't have to go into the little bump if you don't like, if you don't want to. But for me, I'm gonna go into the little bump on the back of the chain stitch. The reason I do that is give me very nice edge at the bottom. That's what I like. Okay, see right here, this row 1, and here is the bottom edge. I think it's very cool. I like it. And yeah, keep making that, and I will meet you guys back in when you reach the end of row 1. I'm at the end of row 1 here, and I have 85 double crochet stitches. Pretty long. Okay, so for row 2, it's gonna be this section here, this row. Okay, which is you're gonna chain 1. I'm at the end of row 1 here, and I have 85 double crochet stitches, includes the first 3 chain that we skipped to. Okay, 85. And row 2, I'm gonna chain 1 and turn, or you can turn first and chain, doesn't matter, and the chain 1 doesn't count as a stitch. And then we're gonna make this right here, row 2 right here. Okay, so after you chain 1 and turn, you're gonna make 1 single crochet into the very first stitch right here. So I insert the hook into the first stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through both loops. That is the single crochet. And then I'm gonna chain 2, 1 and 2, and skip 2 stitches, 1 and 2, and make V stitch into the next stitch. For the V stitch, you're gonna make 1 double crochet, chain 2, and 1 double crochet, all into the same stitch. It's called as 1 V stitch. So I'm gonna yarn over, I skip 1 and 2, insert the hook into the next stitch, and make a V stitch. So start with double crochet first, and then chain 2, 1 more double crochet into the same stitch. Alright, and now I have a V stitch. So see, I have 1 double crochet, I have chain 2, and I have 1 double crochet, all into the same stitch. It's called as 1 V stitch. Okay, and then next, I'm gonna chain 2, 1 and 2, and skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and make single crochet into the next stitch. So insert the hook, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through both loops, like that. And we're just gonna repeat this. Okay, so see, when we start here, we have chain 2, right? So I'm gonna chain 2 and skip 2 stitches, 1 and 2, and make a V stitch into the next stitch. So yarn over hook, skip 2 stitches, insert the hook into the next, and make a double crochet first, and then chain 2, and 1 more double crochet into the same stitch. That is my second V stitch, like that. And then I chain 2, skip 2 stitches, 1 and 2, and make single crochet into the next stitch. And we're just gonna repeat the same. Chain 2, skip 2 stitches, 1 and 2, and make V stitch into the next. So yarn over, make double crochet first, and then chain 2, 1 more double crochet into the same stitch. That is my third V stitch. And then I chain 2, skip 2 stitches, 1 and 2, and make single crochet into the next stitch. Like that. See, I repeat the same pattern. Here's what this looks like so far. And you're just gonna repeat that. So next, you're gonna chain 2, skip 2 stitches, and make V stitch into the next. Chain 2, skip 2 stitches, and make single crochet into the next, like that. Okay, so it's like the single crochet and the V stitch take turn. Okay, so see here I have a V stitch, and then next I have a single crochet, and next I have V stitch, and next I have single crochet, next I have V stitch. You see, and always you're gonna chain 2 and skip 2 stitches in between that. All right, I show you one more time. So now I have single crochet, next gonna be a V stitch, right? So before that I'm gonna chain 2 first, and then skip 2 stitches, 1 and 2, and make V stitch into the next. Make a double crochet first, and then chain 2, 1 more double crochet into the same stitch, like that. Okay, and then next gonna be a single crochet, but I'm gonna chain 2 first and skip 2 stitches, 1 and 2, and make single crochet into the next, like that. See, here's what this looks like so far. Okay, yeah, take your time, keep repeating that, and I will meet you guys back in when you reach the end of row 2. I'm at the end of row 2 here, but I haven't made the last stitch yet. So after you make the last V stitch, and then you chain 2 here, and for the last single crochet you're gonna make into the third chain. Okay, remember row 1 we skipped 3 chain, and into that third chain you're gonna make the last single crochet. So here is the first chain, second chain, and third chain right there. Okay, so it's the same. Skip 2 stitches, 1 and 2, and make 1 single crochet into the next stitch, which is the third chain, and it's gonna be the last stitch. So chain 2 first, okay? And I have 2 chain here already. I insert the hook into the third chain there, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through both loops, like that. And at the end of row 2, I have total of 14 V stitches. So I show you how to count. So here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. 14 V stitches. This is for size small, okay? And for row 3, I'm gonna chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. And turn, or you can turn first and chain, doesn't matter. And then the first 3 chain count as 1 double crochet. And then into the V stitch, right here into chain space, you're gonna make fan puff stitch. Here is the fan puff stitch, right here. Okay, you will have a puff stitch, and you have chain 1 and puff stitch, and chain 1 and puff stitch. All that into the same space is count as 1 fan puff stitch. I show you how to do that, don't worry. So after I chain 3, I'm gonna make a fan puff stitch into the V stitch right into chain space here. Okay, so start with a puff stitch. So I yarn over hook, insert the hook into the V stitch here, into chain space, pull up a loop. I have 3 loops on my hook, and I'm gonna do that 2 more times. So yarn over hook, insert the hook into the same space, pull up a loop. This is the second time, and I have 5 loops on my hook. And I yarn over, insert the hook into the same space, pull up a loop. This is the third time, and I have 7 loops on my hook, and then I'm gonna yarn over, pull through all the loops on my hook. To do that, I like to hold it right here. Everyone like different way, so I hold it right here, and then I yarn over hook, and then I turn the tip of my hook down, so easier to pull through all the loops on my hook, like that. Like that. And then I chain 1. And this chain 1 doesn't count as chain 1. It's the part of the puff stitch. Okay, so now I have 1 puff stitch. And then next, I'm gonna chain 1. And this chain 1 count as 1 chain space. Okay, so I yarn over hook and make a puff stitch again into the same space. Yarn over, insert the hook into the same space, pull up a loop. Do that 3 times. This is the first time. Yarn over, insert the hook into the same space, pull up a loop. This is the second time. Yarn over, insert the hook into the same space, pull up a loop. This is the third time, and I have 7 loops on my hook, and I'm gonna yarn over and pull through all the loops on my hook. I hold it right here again. I yarn over my hook, I turn the tip of my hook down, and pull through all the loops on my hook like that. And I chain 1. Again, this chain 1 doesn't count as 1 chain. It's the part of the puff stitch. Alright, so now I have 2 puff stitches. And next, I'm gonna chain 1. And this chain 1 count as 1 chain space. And 1 more puff stitch. Do exactly the same. Yarn over, insert the hook into the same space, pull up a loop. This is the first time. Yarn over, insert the hook into the same space, pull up a loop. This is the second time. Yarn over, insert the hook into the same space, pull up a loop. This is the third time, and I have 7 loops on my hook. And then I'm gonna yarn over and pull through all the loops on my hook. And then chain 1. Again, the chain 1 is the part of the puff stitch, doesn't count as 1 chain. Okay, now I have fan puff stitch now. So see, I have 1 puff, I have chain 1, I have 1 puff, I have chain 1, and I have 1 puff. All into the same space is called as 1 fan puff stitch. Like that. And we're gonna do that into each V stitch, each 2 chain space. But before we move on, we're gonna chain 1 first. So I chain 1 here. And this chain 1 count as 1 chain space. And then into next stitch, I'm gonna make a 1 fan puff stitch again. Do exactly the same. So after I chain 1 here, I'm gonna yarn over hook, insert the hook into the V stitch, right into 2 chain space, pull up a loop. This is the first time. Yarn over, insert the hook into the same space, pull up a loop. This is the second time. Yarn over, insert the hook into the same space, pull up a loop. This is the third time, and I have 7 loops on my hook. I'm gonna yarn over and pull through all the loops on my hook and chain 1. The chain 1 is the part of the puff stitch, doesn't count as 1 chain. Okay, and next I'm gonna chain 1, and this chain 1 count as 1 chain space. Make puff stitch again, yarn over, insert the hook into the same space, pull up a loop. This is the first time. Yarn over, insert the hook into the same space, pull up a loop. This is the second time. Yarn over, insert the hook into the same space, pull up a loop. This is the third time, and I have 7 loops on my hook. I'm gonna yarn over and pull through all the loops on my hook and chain 1. The chain 1 again is the part of the puff stitch, doesn't count as 1 chain. And next I'm gonna chain 1, and this chain 1 count as 1 chain space. And we need to make 1 more puff stitch into the same space. So yarn over, insert the hook, pull up a loop, first time, second time, and third time. And I have 7 loops on my hook. Yarn over and pull through all the loops on my hook and chain 1. Again, the chain 1 is the part of the puff stitch, doesn't count as 1 chain. I just want to make sure that it makes sense. Okay, so now I have 2 fan puff stitches like that. You're just gonna keep doing that into each V stitch, okay, into each 2 chain space here. But before you move on to the next V, you need to make 1 chain first right here. Always make 1 chain in between, okay? So I'm gonna show you one more time. So like I said, before you move on, you're gonna chain 1 first. So I chain 1. This chain 1 counts as 1 chain space. And then we're gonna make 1 fan puff stitch into the next V stitch here. So to do that, we start with the puff stitch first. Yarn over hook, insert the hook, pull up a loop, do that 3 times. This is the first time, second time, third time. And I have 7 loops on my hook. I yarn over and pull through all the loops on my hook and chain 1. This is the puff stitch. And next, I'm gonna chain 1. And this chain 1 counts as 1 chain space. And puff stitch again, yarn over, insert the hook into the same space, pull up a loop. This is the first time, second time, third time. 7 loops on my hook. I yarn over and pull through all the loops on my hook and chain 1. Now I have 2 puff, and then next I chain 1. This chain 1 counts as 1 chain space and make 1 more puff stitch. First time, second time, third time. 7 loops on my hook. I yarn over and pull through all the loops on my hook and chain 1 to finish the puff stitch. See, now I have 3 fan puff stitches. See, I have a puff stitch, I have chain 1, puff stitch, chain 1, and puff stitch. Like that. Okay, so yeah, take your time and good luck. I will meet you guys back in when you reach the end of row 3. I'm at the end of row 3 here, but I haven't made the last stitch yet. So after you make the last fan puff stitch, you don't need to chain 1 at the end, okay? And then after that, you're gonna make 1 double crochet into the last stitch right into the single crochet stitch of the previous row. So I'm gonna yarn over, insert the hook into the last stitch there, pull up a loop and make a double crochet. At the end of row 3, I have 14 fan puff stitches. You're gonna have the same amount of the V stitch of the previous row because we crochet into the V stitch. So I'm pretty sure you know how to count that. Just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. Okay, I have 14 for size small. And for row 4, I'm gonna chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 and turn. And the first 3 chain count as 1 double crochet, and then the chain 1 here count as 1 chain space. And then we're gonna make 1 double crochet into the 1 chain space. Yarn over, insert the hook into 1 chain space, pull up a loop and make a double crochet. And then chain 1 double crochet into the next 1 chain space. Repeat that. Chain 1 double crochet into the 1 chain space. Oops. Okay. Chain 1 double crochet into the next 1 chain space, just like that. Chain 1 double crochet into the 1 chain space, chain 1 double crochet into the next 1 chain space. Like that. You're just gonna keep repeating that. Remember, when we make a puff stitch here, we have 1 chain in between, right? That 1 chain you're gonna make a double crochet into, and also we have 1 chain in between fan puff stitch right here. You're also gonna crochet into that as well, and always chain 1 first. So see here, row 4 here. Okay, I show you a couple more times. So next, I'm gonna chain 1 and make 1 double crochet into the next 1 chain space here. And then chain 1 double crochet into the next 1 chain space. Chain 1 double crochet into the next 1 chain space. just like that. Okay, just keep repeating that, and I will meet you guys back in when you reach the end of row 4. I'm at the end of row 4 here, but I haven't made the last double crochet yet. So before I make the last double crochet, I chain 1 here already. Okay, so after I chain 1, I'm gonna make the last double crochet into the 3rd chain. So here is the first chain, here is the second chain, and here is the 3rd chain right there. So I yarn over, insert the hook into the 3rd chain there. Oops, sorry, insert the hook, pull up a loop, and make the last double crochet like that. Okay, the end of row 4, I have 43 double crochet stitches and then 42 one chain space. You just count normal, just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the crochet stitches. Don't forget to count the first 3 chain as 1 double crochet as well. And for the one chain space, you're gonna count this space, 1 chain right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like that. Okay, so total of 43 double crochet and 42 one chain space for row 4 for size small. Alright, and then row 5, I'm gonna chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and turn. And the first 3 chain count as 1 double crochet. And then we're gonna make 1 double crochet into the one chain space right here. And then 1 double crochet into the double crochet stitch right here. And then 1 double crochet into one chain space. 1 double crochet into the double crochet stitch. See, just repeat that. Okay, so next, 1 double crochet into the one chain space, and then 1 double crochet into the double crochet stitch like that. All right, so next you're gonna double crochet into one chain space and then double crochet into the double crochet stitch, double crochet into one chain space, double crochet into the double crochet stitch like that. Okay, repeating that until the end, and I will meet you guys back in when you reach the end of row 5. I'm at the end of row 5, but I haven't made the last 2 double crochet yet. Just want to show you. So when you work, it look like this. You need to make 1 double crochet into the last one chain space, and then 1 double crochet into the last stitch, which is the 3rd chain. Okay, so I need to make 2 more double crochet to finish row 5. Okay, so I'm gonna yarn over, insert the hook into the last space here, pull up a loop and make a double crochet. Okay, and then I need to make 1 double crochet into the last stitch right into the 3rd chain. So here is the first chain, here is the second chain, and here is the 3rd chain. So yarn over, insert the hook into the 3rd chain there, and make the last double crochet like that. Okay, the end of row 5, I have total of 85 double crochet stitches. It's the same amount of the row 1. Okay, 85 double crochet for size small. Alright, so I recommend you guys to count your stitches every row, so you're not increased or decreased by accident. So now, like I said, this pattern is 4 row repeat, which is row 2 to row 5, like that. So next, I gonna repeat row 2 to row 5, row 2 to row 5, like that. Okay, so for me, for size small, I gonna repeat row 2 to row 5 10 more times, and I will have total of 45 rows. Start count from row 1. Okay, I will have 45 rows after I repeat row 2 to row 5 10 more times. If you want shorter, make less repeat of row 2 to row 5. Maybe 5 more times, maybe 6 more times, maybe 7 or 8 more times, whatever you prefer. But if you want longer, even you want to make a dress, keep repeating row 2 to row 5 more, over and over, until you have your desired length. Okay, so here I'm gonna keep repeating this, crochet over and over, and then when I come to this point, before I make the shoulder here, I'm gonna make one more rows of double crochet, and then I'm gonna create this shoulder here, and then cut the yarn and skip the stitches, and then make double crochet on the other side. I will let you know exactly how many stitches that I make, how many stitches that I skip, but I just want to show you example. Okay, and I'm gonna show you in here as well. This is the panel that I already made one here. So see here, this is row 2 to row 5, and then here is row 2 to row 5, row 2 to row 5, row 2 to row 5, like that. See, 2 to 5, 2 to 5, 2 to 5, and here at the end, see, after I repeat 2 to 5 10 more times, here's what it looks like. Gonna be right here, and then I make one more rows of double crochet stitches across, and then for the last row, the final rows, I just make double crochet right here, and then I cut the yarn, and then I skip the stitches at the middle here for the neckline, and then I add the new yarn and double crochet into the other side, like that. Okay, I show you a couple more stitches. So now row 6, we're gonna start repeat row 2. Okay, because 2 to 5 is pattern repeat. So row 6, do exactly the same when we do the row 2, which is chain 1 and turn, and the chain 1 doesn't count as a stitch, and make one single crochet into the very first stitch right here. Set the hook, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through both loop. That is the single crochet, and then I chain 2, skip 2 stitches, 1 and 2, and make V stitch into the next. So the V stitch, we're gonna make a double crochet first, and then chain 2, and then one more double crochet into the same stitch. That is the first V stitch, and then I chain 2, skip 2 stitches, 1 and 2, and make single crochet into the next stitch, like that. Do exactly the same when we do the row 2. Chain 2, skip 2 stitches, 1 and 2, and make V stitch into the next, like that. Okay, chain 2, skip 2 stitches, 1 and 2, and make single crochet into the next, just like that. See, it's very easy. So if you cannot remember, when you repeat row 2, you cannot remember how it works, you can rewind the video and go watch it again. Okay, and yeah, I gonna repeat row 2 to row 5 10 more times, and I will have total of 45 rows, and then I will be back when I reach the end of row 45. And please take your time, count your stitches every row, so you not increase or decrease by accident. If you need to rewind the video, please do that. Alright, so yeah, good luck, and I will be back when I reach the end of row 45. Okay, after I repeat row 2 to row 5 10 more times, and I have total of 45 rows. Start count from row 1 here. I have 45 rows, and this is the end of row 45. Okay, and then for row 46, oops, sorry. Okay, this is the end of row 45. For row 46, we're gonna chain 3. 1, 2, and 3, and turn, or you can turn first and chain, doesn't matter. And the first 3 chain count as 1 double crochet, and then we're gonna make double crochet into the next stitch and then into each stitch across. So I yarn over, insert the hook into next stitch here, okay, not the very first stitch, because the very first stitch is belong to the first 3 chain, because we count that first 3 chain as 1 double crochet. We don't need to double crochet into that very first stitch. We're gonna double crochet into the next stitch here, okay. So I yarn over, insert the hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop and make a double crochet. So now I have 2 double crochet, and then we're gonna make 1 double crochet into each stitch across. Okay, repeat the same, just double crochet. Okay, so keep making double crochet into each stitch across, and then for the last stitch it's gonna be into the 3rd chain. Okay, and I will meet you guys back in when you reach the end of row 46. I'm at the end of row 46 here, and I have total of 85 double crochet stitches, and I also make the last double crochet into the 3rd chain here already. Okay, don't forget that. And then for row 47, it's gonna be the final row. We're gonna create this part. This is gonna be the shoulder, and then this is gonna be the shoulder, and we're gonna leave stitches open for the neckline. Okay, I tell you exactly how many stitches that I crochet in each shoulder. Alright, so row 47, I'm gonna chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and the first 3 chain count as 1 double crochet, and then turn, and then I'm gonna make a double crochet into the next stitch. Yarn over, insert the hook into next stitch here, pull up a loop and make a double crochet, and then make 1 double crochet into each stitch until I have 21 stitches, include those 2 stitches as well. Okay, so now I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay, now I have 21 double crochet stitches, includes the first 3 chain as well. Okay, 21 double crochet total, and every size is different. And also, if you want your neckline to be bigger, you crochet less stitches at this point, at this shoulder. Make less double crochet if you want bigger neck hole. Okay, but if you want smaller neck hole, keep crochet more double crochet, but both sides have to be even. Both shoulder have to be the same amount of these stitches. Okay, so for me, I make 21 double crochet stitches on this shoulder, and then I'm gonna make 21 stitches on this shoulder as well. Alright, so after I have 21 double crochet stitches, I just gonna cut the yarn. Like I said earlier, you just need to leave a long tail at this point, just for 1 panel at the shoulders. Okay, so this panel, I already leave a long tail here, and then the long tail in the shoulder. So I have the long tails in this panel. So this one, I don't need to leave a long tail. Just leave a little bit of tail, just enough to weaving the end later. And then I put the yarn out like that. And then I'm gonna skip 43 stitches at the middle for the neck hole, and add the new yarn into the next stitch. Okay, so let's count. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, and 43. Skip 43 stitches and then add the new yarn into the next stitch right here. Okay, I insert my hook there and then bring a new yarn and just pull up a loop, and then I'm gonna chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. And this first 3 chain count as 1 double crochet, and then you're gonna make 1 double crochet into the next stitch and then into each stitch across. So yarn over, insert the hook into the next stitch and make a double crochet, and then just double crochet into each stitch across. And then for the last stitch, it's gonna be into the 3rd chain. Okay, right here. Oops, sorry. Right here. Okay. And then I have 21 double crochet stitches on this shoulder as well. So you want both side, both shoulder is the same amount of these stitches. Okay, and then after that, I just gonna cut the yarn. Again, I don't need to leave a long tail in this one because the other panel, I already leave a long tails. So just enough to weaving the end, put the yarn out, and we're done. So it's pretty big. So I have 21 stitches and 21 stitches, and I skip 43 stitches. So all of that total of 85 stitches. And then next, we're gonna sew the back and the front panel together, and I will show you how to do that in the part 2.